Ever wondered how America's most famous whiskey came to be? You might think it was the result of some grand, patriotic plan, but the real story is much more interesting. It was an accident. This is the story of bourbon. Our journey begins in the late 1700s. America was a young nation, pushing westward across the Appalachian Mountains. Settlers poured into the fertile lands of what would soon be Kentucky. The soil was perfect for growing corn, and they grew a lot of it. But this created a problem. How do you get all that corn to market? Roads were terrible, and corn was heavy, bulky, and it spoiled fast. Shipping, it was a logistical nightmare. Frontier folk were resourceful though. They couldn't ship the corn, so they transformed it. They did what people had been doing for centuries. They turned their grain into alcohol. By distilling corn into whiskey, they created a product that was smaller, wouldn't spoil, and was a lot more valuable. In fact, whiskey became a form of currency on the frontier. You could trade it for goods, pay for services, or just enjoy a drink after a long day. But there was a catch. This early American whiskey was, well, it was rough. It was harsh, unrefined stuff. People drank it, but it wasn't exactly a smooth, sophisticated spirit. It was fuel, not fine dining. The magic ingredient, the thing that would turn this frontier moonshine into the bourbon we know today, hadn't been discovered yet, and when it was completely by accident. The transformation happened on the move. To get their whiskey to larger markets like New Orleans, distillers would load it into wooden barrels and float it down the Ohio and Mississippi rivers. And here's where fate stepped in. Some of these barrels were charred on the inside. Nobody knows for sure why it started. Maybe a barrel maker got a little careless while cleaning a barrel with fire. Maybe it was an old technique to seal the wood. Whatever the reason, it wasn't intentional. But as the whiskey sloshed around in these charred barrels for weeks or even months, on its long journey down the river, something incredible happened. The harsh, clear spirit started to change. It took on a beautiful amber color. It became smoother, mellowing out the rough edges. And it developed amazing new flavors, notes of caramel, vanilla, and a hint of spice, all absorbed from the toasted oak. The distillers and their customers noticed. This whiskey from the charred barrels was different. It was better, a lot better. So, what started as a mistake became standard practice. They started charring all their barrels on purpose. The unique climate of Kentucky also played a crucial role. The hot, humid summers caused the wooden staves of the barrels to expand, pushing the whiskey deep into the charred wood. Then, the cold winters would cause the wood to contract, pulling the whiskey back out, bringing all those wonderful flavors with it. This cycle of expansion and contraction acted like a natural accelerator for the aging process. By the early 1800s, this unique, corn-based, barrel-aged whiskey started to get a name. It became associated with the specific region in Kentucky, Bourbon County. Now, historians still debate the exact origin of the name. Some say it's named directly after the county, a major shipping port for whiskey. Others believe it was named by French merchants in New Orleans, in honor of the French House of Bourbon. Either way, the name stuck. The spirit born from accident now had an identity, bourbon. As America grew, so did bourbon's popularity. It became an icon of American culture, found everywhere, from dusty frontier saloons to the grand riverboats steaming up and down the Mississippi. It was the drink of cowboys, politicians, and everyone in between. Even a nationwide ban on alcohol couldn't kill it. During Prohibition in the 1920s, some distilleries were granted licenses to continue producing bourbon for medicinal purposes. You could get a prescription from your doctor for a pint of whiskey. It was a tough time, but bourbon survived. After Prohibition was repealed, bourbon faced new challenges. Its popularity waxed and waned over the decades, competing with other spirits like vodka and gin. But it never went away. And in the late 20th and early 21st centuries, it came roaring back, experiencing a massive global resurgence. Today, bourbon is more popular than ever, and it's no longer just a tradition, it's the law. In 1964, the U.S. Congress officially recognized bourbon as a distinctive product of the United States. The rules are strict. To be called bourbon, it must be made in the USA. Its grain mixture, or mash bill, must be at least 51% corn. And most importantly, it must be aged in new, charred oak barrels. The very accident that created it is now legally required. So, the next time you see a bottle of bourbon, remember its story. It's not just a drink. It's a testament to ingenuity, adaptation, and the happy accidents of history. It's the story of how frontier farmers, faced with a problem, stumbled upon a solution that would create a cultural icon. It's proof that sometimes, the greatest discoveries aren't planned in a lab, but found by chance on the long, winding river of history. The American spirit, born by mistake. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, be sure to like and subscribe for more.